What happens after we die? Would you really like to know? Today I'm going to be talking about death. But I'll be talking about the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and a movie called Jacob's Ladder, and the Silent Hill franchise. That sounds a little overwhelming, but stick with me and you'll understand why I'm talking about all of these three things. And just as a trigger warning, this might be very sensitive as it is dealing with death. And also, if you never watched the movie Jacob's Ladder or played any of the Silent Hill games in the franchise or watched the movies, this may be a spoiler. So anyway, let me explain. So, I've always been interested in Silent Hill since I was like 11 years old when the first movie came out. The game is really not for everybody, like not everybody likes it. It's a little bit challenging, maybe too scary for some people, but at the same time, there is something very compelling about it. And so with any really good piece of like content material, there has to be like a really great influence on that. At least that's what I've noticed. So I naturally wanted to know like what influenced Silent Hill. So one of the major influences of the franchise is a movie called Jacob's Ladder. And I watched this movie for the very first time the other day. And I definitely could see the influences of like the setting into the franchise. And I felt it was really interesting because the game really definitely does capture the essence of that movie. So Jacob's Ladder is like a 90s film, and it follows a man called Jacob Singer, who's a Vietnam War veteran. And so when he comes back, it seems like he's really struggling with PTSD. He had a divorce from his wife. One of his kids died. Just like really crazy life for this guy. But he starts having these hallucinations that like make him feel like he doesn't know what's reality. But the fascinating thing about these hallucinations is that he keeps waking up like either back with his lover or waking up and being with his wife again, and his kid is alive. So you really don't know like which part of this is real. Is he just imagining being back with his wife? Is he really with the lover? He's even really back from Vietnam because he keeps having flashbacks from Vietnam. So then, spoiler alert, we find out that he's actually dead. And these hallucinations that he's having are like memories that are keeping him in a liminal state between death and life. And so again, if you're familiar with the Silent Hill franchise, that's basically what happens in the video games and in the movies of people, or the characters, like the main characters are going to the town and kind of dealing through their own like personal hell. So how does the Tibetan Book of the Dead relate to all of this?